Hi guys, welcome to the final session. This is our last session and it's on listening activities and active listening in the classroom. I like this here at the end because you know what, this is one of the things that you really can use in your classroom to get your kids excited about music in general. So what is active listening? Active listening gets those kids involved in listening to music. I gotta be honest, classical music gets boring, especially if you've never been given tools for how to listen to it. So we're going to give our kids some tools, some ability to hear the form, to move to the form, to actually enjoy music and have fun with it. It works great in your classroom, and I'm going to show you how. Also, you want to build focus, redirection, engagement. This is all your stuff. All right, we're going to start with this lady. She is the guru, and I mean the guru, of listening activities in the classroom. Her name is Artie Almeida, and I have referenced her book at the top of the page. While you're watching the video, you might want to write down the book. You can use all of it, and you don't have to know anything. Everything you see in this video, step by step, is written out. Definitions, musical forms, second by second. We're going to watch just a little bit of her in action, because she is amazing.
Greetings everyone, Artie Almeida here in the Bear Lake Music Room. Today we're going to be doing some music by my favorite composer, or one of my favorite composers, Leroy Anderson. We're going to be doing his syncopated clock with a scarf routine. These are 27-inch scarves. And we're going to be doing a scarf folding piece right after this.
Your PE teacher has scarves.
Composed by Mr. Leroy Anderson. We've talked about our rondo form, and we've talked about our major vocabulary words we're studying for the A section, the B section, in the C, and then the coda at the end. So are you ready, guys? Remember, avoid the crowd as you move, and make your movements graceful and staccato, legato where they're needed to match that music. Here we go with Leroy Anderson's syncopated clock. Staccato, A. Let me hear the beat in your feet. Now stop and turn and retrace your steps. Journey high, middle and low. Like this follows. That is not the beat. We use the legato to paint this. Let's turn it. Let's turn it. Hey, it's coming back. Find a spot not near anybody else. Put your scarf in the hand that you're right. It seems coming. Toss and let's try it
So that part at the end is absolutely my kids' favorite part. There is more to the song, but I'm hoping that right there already you're starting to go, oh, the kids understand the A section of the music, the B section of the music, etc. This next one is going to bring them to Star Wars. Now, you're looking at that picture and going, I can't have a parachute in my classroom. Where are you at? This is where, guys, you get your little speaker. I think we all have a speaker of some sort. You take your kids to the playground, you borrow a parachute from the gym teacher, and you're ready to go. Remember, principals don't like too much out of class time, then not learning, not engaged. This is a way to get your kids some exercise, some movement, some active engagement, get those brains fired up again, and then you can go back to learning. Enjoy Star Wars. These third graders are pretty amazing. I just want you to hear and watch them identify the introduction, the A section, B section, and you'll recognize A, and then I'll cut it off. This is the introduction. Don't you wish you were playing? B section. And you get the idea of how that one works. All right, so moving on. Now, you may be thinking, I have to have props to do active listening. You don't. Active listening could be done absolutely standing up by their desks. This is some first graders in a Spanish-speaking classroom doing Radetzky March by Johann Strauss. Watch how much fun they're having. So you saw that all of a sudden they're getting that musical form, they're building patterns, and they're having so much fun. All right, so we don't have room to move. Listening, part 2. Listening maps are really prevalent. You can find them all over the internet, and they're awesome for another more form of passive engagement with the kids. They're going to follow along, and you can teach things: musical form, steady beat, melodic direction, instrument grouping, all sorts of things. This one that we're going to use was done by UNC EDEL. She goes by Lady Fair. You can find several things by her that are fabulous. I got the whole thing for free off Pinterest in this case, but I know you'll find lots of great ones for your students. We're going to walk through this one real fast because it's kind of short. I want to show you how a listening activity plays out. So we are going to be listening to Promenade, which is actually from a piece called Pictures at an Exhibition by a guy named Modest Mussorgsky. Now, I am really big into connecting the music to a story for my kids whenever I can. Usually I have a real story. I have been known to make one up from time to time. The story I'm going to tell you is actually a true story, and it is found in a book with the same name, Pictures at an Exhibition. But I love to tell the kids this story. And Modest Mussorgsky lived in the early 1900s, late 1800s, and he was about in his mid-20s at the time. And it was a group of Russian artists, theater creators, sculptors, musicians, opera writers, etc., that all worked together. And their goal was to create some music and art that filled the world with Russian culture and really brought the Russian life alive. And in that group were two best friends. It was Modest Mussorgsky and Victor Harding. And in this case, Victor was working on the set for a famous ballet that Modest was ready to premiere. And Modest was having him carry some set pieces. And Victor had complained that he wasn't feeling well. Well, later that day, Victor died suddenly. Modest was devastated. He held himself completely responsible for Victor's death. And keeping in mind that Modest already had a small problem with the vodka, it led to some serious drinking and depression. His friends could not get him out of the house. He completely quit writing music. He completely quit creating. He just stopped. Well, his friends knew they had to help him. They had to get him out of this funk he had fallen into. And so they collected all of Victor's art. They framed it, rented a hall, and held a gallery opening. Then they went and got Modest Mussorgsky. He refused to leave the house. He stomped his feet. Victor's dead. I want nothing to do with him. He'd had a lot of vodka. They refused to take no for an answer. They got him up, put on his coat, put on his hat, and drug him out the door. What we got out of this adventure was an amazing piece of music called Pictures at an Exhibition. The whole piece of music is made up of several movements connected by the promenade. The promenade represents modest walking between the pictures of art that Victor created. And then if you go ahead and listen to this outside, you'll realize that each movement represents a different painting or portrait that Victor had created. So you'll hear Chicks in Their Shells, Great Gate of Kiev. You may have heard these pieces before, but we're going to look at the promenade today. It's very short. In this case, our goal would be to point out instrument families. And so we'd be listening for the percussion, the brass, the woodwinds, etc. And we discuss what a promenade was, what does promenade mean, etc. Probably let the kids move around a little bit. I'm always in favor of moving. And then we'd get to the activity. All right, so take a look at this real quick. You'll notice that the colors identify what instruments are playing. So we have trumpet solo, then the brass family, string family. And each of those are little footsteps. So I encourage you to listen along right now and touch the footsteps as we go. Let's see if we can stay together with the music. Here we go. Yellow. Purple. Yellow. Yellow. Strings. Woodwind section, orange. Hopefully you made it to the end at the same time as the music. Just kind of a fun thing. If you'd follow up, of course, with some questions for the kids, these are some suggestions. Some of them are not too higher order thinking. I'd encourage you to work on those a little bit with your kids. But lots of directions they can go. And then, of course, get them up and have them walk around like Mussorgsky. You might want to leave out the part about the vodka. All right, last one. This one is Carnival of the Animals by Camille Saint-Saëns. It is meant to help the kids see melodic direction and hear A, B, A in the music. This is a great one when you need to refocus the kids and calm them down. They could even track this with their eyes, as you will see. All right, start with Nemo on the first note. Big yellow fish. Second line. Last line. Let your kids take their circle, follow the fish down. Big fish. Hop to the bottom. Hop up to the fish on the end. And you're going to make him swirl down. And there's your A melody again. All right, I hope that was calming, as it would be for your kids. Kind of fun. They can see that melodic direction and follow along, even at a pretty early age, obviously, with this one. Congratulations! You have reached the fine of our music portion of this class. Thank you guys for your willingness to play along, think creatively, and especially to bring music into your classroom and enrich the lives of all of your future students. God bless your future endeavors.